Welcome back, everyone, to another Explainer. Today, we're jumping right into a really fascinating, honestly deeply passionate piece of writing. We're unpacking an article called The Nigerian Imperative for Development by Oluyomi Ola David. Now, let me tell you, this is not your typical dry policy brief. It actually reads a lot more like a bold, unapologetic manifesto for the future of an entire continent. It's a completely striking vision of societal transformation. So, let's just dive right in and see exactly what she's proposing for the future of Nigeria, and really, Africa as a whole. Right out of the gate, she establishes this incredibly high ceiling for what's actually possible. I mean, listen to this quote. Nigeria and its noble people have the human and resource potential, absorptive capacity, and capabilities to lead the world's next civilization arising from Africa. Wow. She is definitely not mincing words here. She's laying down a massive marker. In her view, the resources, they're already there. The human capital, already there. And that capacity to absorb and drive monumental change is completely present right now. This is her absolute foundational belief, the bedrock that the rest of her entire manifesto is built on.
Part 1. The Next Global Civilization.
Now, to really grasp her roadmap, we first need to understand the ultimate destination she has in mind, and that means looking at the sheer, massive scale of her ambition. She states that this coming civilization will drive progress that literally makes the frontline countries pale in insignificance. Yeah, you heard that right. She's visualizing a total paradigm shift. It's a future where the center of global advancement doesn't just, expand a bit, but fundamentally relocates. But she's also incredibly practical. She knows this level of progress doesn't just, happen by magic.
Part 2. Unity over parochial ethnicity. Before Nigeria can step fully into what she calls her great destiny, she argues there are strict prerequisites. Basically, urgent, literally non-negotiable cultural shifts that have to happen first. She sets up this really sharp contrast. On one hand, there are things she insists must be entirely abandoned. We're talking about parochial ethnicity, hatred, regional competition, and impunity. These are the anchors dragging the nation down. And on the flip side, what must be embraced instead? Unity of purpose, love, regional cooperation, skills, merit, and justice. Notice how she pairs the emotional, like love versus hatred, directly with the structural, like merit and justice versus impunity. In her framework, you absolutely cannot have the economic progress without first building that solid cultural and moral foundation. And to actually achieve the peace, unity, and justice required for this massive socioeconomic leap, well, she points to a very specific synergy. She argues that we absolutely must channel our youthful energies right alongside our elderly experience. It's this powerful acknowledgement that neither demographic really holds all the answers on its own. It's like a giant puzzle. The drive, the innovation, the sheer force of the youth must be coupled with the wisdom, the historical context, and the steady hand of the elderly. This right here is her formula for unlocking the nation's collective power.
Part 3. The FIH Economic Framework.
So who exactly is responsible for making all this happen? Who's going to bridge this generational gap and drive this massive cultural shift? Well, the crucial point here is how she completely redefines the word we. She uses a specific acronym, FIHG, and this stands for the collective economic units that make any nation function optimally. She isn't just pointing a finger at politicians or some wealthy elite, she is breaking the whole nation down into its fundamental operating building blocks.
When we break down FIHG, we get 4 equal parts: individuals, households, firms, and governments. I want to pause for a second and just point something out to you, the viewer. You are part of this. Every single one of us belongs to at least one, if not multiple, of these units, right? You're an individual. You're part of a household. You probably work for or own a firm, and you interact with or are part of the government. By defining we in this incredibly specific way, her theory becomes universally applicable to all of us. There's no sitting on the sidelines in her framework. Everyone is in the game.
Part 4. Repairing today, securing tomorrow. Having established that every single person and institution is part of the machinery, she transitions into her final unifying call to action. And it's a message of shared responsibility. She takes a really uncompromising stance here. Because we are all part of that FIHG framework, she explicitly states, we are all liable for our current state. Wow, that is a heavy statement. It completely cuts through the usual blame shifting. If the nation is underperforming, the individual is liable, the household is liable, the firm is liable, and the government is liable. But, and this is key, she doesn't leave us just dwelling on that liability. She immediately pivots it into forward momentum.
Let's look at her specific linear path for our collective societal redemption. Because we're all liable, she says we've got to work together through 3 vital steps. Step 1, learn from the past. Step 2, repair today. And Step 3, secure our future. It sounds simple, right? But it actually requires the fully synchronized effort of every single slice of that FIHG pie we were just talking about.
And that brings us to the deeply passionate concluding rally cry of her piece. Nigeria arise, Africa shine. It's such a brilliant summation of her sheer enthusiasm. It really captures her ultimate vision, moving from the localized effort of a single nation to the glowing success of the entire continent. She sees the development of Nigeria not happening in a vacuum, but as the literal spark that ignites an African century.
So, as we wrap up this explainer today, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought directly inspired by her uncompromising framework. If Oluyomi Oladavid is right, and it's the collective health of individuals, households, firms, and governments that dictates whether a nation leads the next global civilization, well, which economic unit are you failing to repair today? Are you functioning optimally as an individual? Is your household united? Is your firm prioritizing merit? It's a tough question for sure, but honestly, answering it might just be the very first step toward that bright future she envisions. Thanks so much for learning with me today, and I'll catch you in the next one.